Hello everyone. Now we'll start a new chapter, that is human settlements. This is the last chapter of your first book, that is Fundamentals of Human Law. So in this chapter we'll talk and study about the concept of settlements, the types and classification of settlements into rural and urban, rural settlement types and patterns, problems of rural settlements, urban settlement types and classification, and problems of urban settlements, and selected case study about the morphology of selected cities. So let's start. Firstly, what is settlement? As we all know and we all see in our surrounding, the cluster of houses. So the cluster of dwellings or houses where people live is considered to be as settlements. In early times, peoples of villages were engaged in primary activities. Still in most of the developing countries, in villages people are engaged in primary activities. But nowadays, or you can say in modern times, most of the people in developed countries prefer to live in villages. Even they are engaged in cities for their job or work. So there is no definite criterion to divide or to categorize the settlements into rural and urban. But there are some criteria that are used to divide human settlements into rural and urban. So let's discuss about such criteria. So here are some criteria according to which we can identify any settlement as rural or urban. So these are the criteria: the population size of that particular place or settlement, the functions performed, that means jobs of people, and the level of services available or consumed, and the last one, that is infrastructure. So after seeing these factors, we can identify or determine about any place that place is either rural or urban. But in case of India, definition of urbanization is quite different. Here are some criteria that have been selected to be any area as urban. According to Census 1991, there are following criteria to consider any area as urban. The first one is population size must be 5,000 in any area, with at least 400 persons per square kilometer population density. After that, area should be administered by a municipal corporation, municipality, notified town area committee, or cantonment board. And 75% male workers must be engaged in non-primary activities. An interesting fact about urbanization and the cities and towns of India is that the level of urbanization and the level of services available in towns and cities is quite low than that of in developed countries. Now, the types and patterns of settlements. Settlements may be classified on the basis of their size, shape, and patterns. According to the shape, there are following types: the compact or nucleated settlements and the dispersed or the scattered settlements. Let's discuss about these types. First of all, the compact or nucleated settlements. Try to understand carefully. In such settlements, houses or dwellings are built very closely. That means houses are built very close to each other. And such settlements are found in preferably river valleys or along the river banks or in fertile plains. And in such settlements, social relations and social bonding between people or among the members of society is very strong. And the people of community share common occupations. Now, the dispersed settlements. In such settlements, houses are spaced or far from each other. That means, unlikely to compact settlements, houses are far away from each other. And in these settlements, houses are spaced with fields or gardens or by some other features. Common market or religious places like temple, church, mosque bind the settlements together in such type of settlements. Rural settlements may be classified on the basis of a number of criteria. For example, on the basis of setting, on the basis of functions, or on the basis of forms and patterns. So first of all, rural settlement classification on the basis of the setting. On the basis of setting, rural settlements may be classified into plain village, plateau village, coastal village, desert village, etc. On the basis of functions, villages may be classified under farmer's village, fisherman's village, lumberjack village, etc. And on the basis of forms and patterns, villages can be classified on the basis of geometrical shapes they form, like circular, rectangular, X-shaped, T-shaped, etc. Now, the rural settlement patterns. That means types of settlements on the basis of geometrical shapes or designs they form. So first of all, linear pattern. When houses are built along a road, railway line, a river or a canal, then the pattern form is called as linear. The rectangular pattern. Such pattern may be seen in the plain areas where roads cut each other at approximately right angles. The circular patterns. Circular patterns develop around any lake, pond or tanks, or it may be developed in the regions where a village is planned in such a way to leave open space in the center to keep the animals. The star-like pattern. In such patterns, houses are built where various roads converge with each other. That means this is a pattern where houses are built along the roads that converge with each other from various directions and form a star-like pattern. The T-shaped pattern. Such patterns develop at the tri-junctions of the roads, and houses are built along such roads and form a T-like pattern. the Y-shaped pattern. This pattern is found where two roads converge with a third one, and houses are built along with these roads, and the pattern or Y-like pattern or shape is formed. A cruciform pattern where roads cross each other like a X pattern, and the houses are built in all the four directions. That is called as cruciform pattern or X-shaped pattern. The double village, the last one. Such settlements extend on both the sides of a river where there is a ferry or a bridge. Now you can see the linear pattern, the star-like pattern, the T-shaped pattern, the Y-shaped pattern, the double village, and the circular pattern. In this picture, you can see all the settlement patterns together. Now, some problems of rural settlements. Rural settlements face various of problems. Some of the problems are quoted here. Inadequate water supply, waterborne diseases like jaundice, cholera, etc., sometimes malaria and dengue, lack of sanitation facilities, poor infrastructure with poor equipped houses, the unmetalled roads, and lack of communication network, lack of education and healthcare facilities. These problems represent a great challenge and opportunity for the planners. The urban settlements. I have earlier explained about the criteria for classifying the urban settlements. Now you must understand that rapid urbanization is a recent phenomenon in 20th or in 21st century. London was the first city to reach 1 million mark in 1800 or 1810. By 1982, there were about 175 cities that crossed the 1 million mark. Recently, about 54% of world's total population is urban, as compared to only 3% in year 1800. So you can see the change, that how people move from rural to urban for their better living standard and for the betterment of their lives. I would like to repeat it again that some of the common bases for classifying the urban settlements are population size, administrative setup, and the occupational structure. In most of the countries, population size varies. Here, we'll try to understand about the population size to be any area as urban in different countries. So you can see here the population size or the lower limit of population for urban areas in different countries. Lower limit of population for urban areas in Colombia is 1500. It is only 2000 in Argentina and Portugal. It is about 2500 persons in USA and Thailand, while in Canada and Venezuela all the places having 1000 population are considered to be as a city. In India, as I have earlier explained, all the places having 5000 population with 400 persons per square kilometer population density are considered to be as urban. In Japan, this limit is quite higher. This is 30,000 people. In Denmark, Sweden and Finland, only 250 population is the lower limit for any region to be or to consider to be as urban. In Iceland, any place having population 300 is considered to be as a city or town.